What's up, you guys?
Hello? Anybody there?
Today I am doing a kind of like a 3-tip video. It's gonna be a little longer than I think I'm anticipating because I kind of want to go into how I got my start on social media, a little bit about my journey, and then things that I think you guys should look out for if you're looking to be a content creator or influencer, either part-time or full-time. If it's something that you're like interested in pursuing, keep watching. I try to give my most helpful tips and explain a little bit about my journey and how I've gotten here. Before I begin, I do think it's unfortunate that influencers and content creators kind of have this bad rap. Like, I almost feel like people think of us as like a joke or don't take us seriously. And people sometimes are like, oh, like what are you? What do you do? And I'm always like embarrassed to say influencer because A, I never feel like I have enough followers to classify myself as an influencer, or B, I feel like they're like, what is that? But yes, I would consider myself an influencer. It's something I'd like to do full time, and it is not something to be like ashamed of. I feel like it's just a new thing that has not always been around. It's a new career that people have a lot of questions about, don't totally understand. So I'm gonna try and explain how I got here and some tips to how I've grown in the past year. Okay, so I wrote down sorry, I'm looking at a piece of paper, but I wrote down like 3 major tips that I think would help someone who wants to be an influencer or content creator full-time and someone who wants to work with brands. So I wrote down 3 major tips. I want to keep this video as short as possible. I feel like I always say I want it to be short and then it's like 30 minutes long, so I'm gonna try and keep this as concise as possible while still answering your questions and getting a little personal. So tip number 1, I think it's the easiest. Actually, it's not the easiest of all, but it's something that if you can overcome this, or if you can take this on, I think this is what makes people successful and what makes people unsuccessful. Like, this is kind of like the make or break thing, and that's being confident in what you're doing. For me personally, I know that I've had people say hateful things, I've had people make fun of me, people send nasty DMs, I've heard of people talking behind my back, you know, all those things that everyone as humans experience, whether you're on the internet or not. And unfortunately, I feel like when people put themselves out there and when they're true to themselves, that's when you receive the most hate, which is crazy because I feel like society encourages us, or at least in recent years, encourages people to be you, be authentic to yourself, but there's constantly people trying to tear you down. So it's definitely very hard to follow your dreams and pursue what you want to do without receiving some sort of hate in some capacity, whether it's small or large scale. Like someone like Charli D'Amelio has millions of hate comments that she has to deal with every day. So that's my little initial tidbit. Going off of the Charli D'Amelio idea, I also think it's really important that people understand that for some people, like an Emma Chamberlain, like a Charli D'Amelio, success is really quick. It happens over a year. They definitely work hard, they put a lot of effort into it, but kind of this overnight sensation phenomenon happens where they gain millions of followers in a very short period of time. And then you see other people who work at it, constantly posting, doing everything right, and their growth is very slow. So you never know with the internet. It's absolutely crazy, but I feel like that's what's made it fun for me, is just never know what's happening, and the chance that like something great might happen keeps me coming back for more. So I think people have to understand that not everyone's going to be a Charli D'Amelio, and with that you have to be confident in what you're doing, because you have to start small. And I was even thinking today, like, if you start a YouTube channel and you have 1 subscriber, 1 is more than 0 that you had the day before, and 100 is more than the 1 that you initially had, and you keep growing. But you have to kind of like give yourself props for those small baby steps, because you literally have to start somewhere. All these people started somewhere with 1 video, with 1 post, and then it grows from there. So if you're starting, you're doing something right. For me, kind of a personal story, I created a random website when I was a freshman in high school. My twin sister had a blog, and I was like, okay, let me blog. And at the time, like, blogs were a big thing. So So I was like, let me blog. I created a website. I don't know, I did a post. I was so excited about it. I thought it looked so cool. And then I didn't really like pursue it or keep up with it. I was a distracted like high schooler finding myself, so whatever. But I'll never forget, I was in a class and I was taking photos of one of like my laptop home screen. And I think I was gonna post it. I don't know where I was gonna put it. But I remember someone in my class was like, oh, Hannah, you take photos of everything. Are you gonna go post that now? And a bunch of people were like laughing at me. And I remember at the time I was like changing my Instagram bio a lot to like weird sayings or whatever. I was just like going through a phase. But I remember when they said that about me taking photos a lot, I was so upset. I didn't post for like 2 weeks, whether that was on Snapchat or Instagram. And at the time I was posting like really dumb artsy photos that I thought was really cool. And then someone made that comment and I was so mortified. I was so embarrassed. And literally to this day, it's like still stuck with me. Like I still get a little self-conscious when I think about something like that happening. So everyone's gonna come into like random haters at some point or another, and that's just like one thing that I wanted to share because it literally happened to me. It was either 8th grade or freshman year of high school, and I still think about it, and I just graduated from college. And so I went through this like phase in high school where I thought I was gonna be a blogger. I posted on a blog, I posted artsy photos on Instagram, but I definitely wasn't taking it seriously because I didn't know how to. At the time, I felt like there was less information out there than there is today about how blogs work, how things worked. And again, I was in high school, I was worried about getting into college, stresses of growing up. So for me, it was just kind of like a fun thing I did on the weekend. I was still posting on Instagram. A lot of people would tell me, oh, your photos are cool, whatever. Some boys would unfollow me because I posted too much, like stuff like that, but I never took it seriously. And then sophomore year of college, I was watching YouTube videos and I was like, I could do this. I used to make home videos growing up and I loved filming things. So I was like, why don't I try this? I ordered my camera off of Amazon. My dad was pissed. He was like, why did you just charge us with a credit card? And I was like, I'll make you money back. I promise, just give me some time. So then I started posting vlogs, and actually most people at school, at college, were really supportive. My roommate was great. My friends told me it was cool. And I was like, okay. And at that point, I felt like I had dealt with my own forms of hate in high school, not nice experiences previously. So I was kind of ready to just take it on, and I was very level-headed, and I was like, if I'm gonna receive hate, I'll take it. I'll feel bad for that person because clearly they're struggling if they're gonna be hateful towards me, and I'll just keep going. So that is where I kind of started my YouTube. People then were like, oh, post more. I enjoyed that. So then I was excited to post. I just did vlogs. And then junior year of college, I was still posting vlogs. I kind of was on and off. I wasn't taking it seriously. And then in quarantine, I was bored, and I was like, you know what, let's go. Like, I have nothing else to do. I was watching so many vlogs during quarantine. I was looking at so many influencers. I was like, okay, let's like pick it up. I have nothing better to do. Here we go. So my mom was texting all of her friends. She's like, subscribe to Hannah's YouTube. I was texting so many people. I was like, please subscribe. I needed to hit 1,000. And then things really started going for me. So I started doing that in quarantine, and I was still getting nervous about what people thought of me. And I feel like naturally I want to be accepted by other people, especially in college. Like, you want boys to like you. You don't want them to think you're a weirdo on YouTube. So that would make me nervous, but I would still go in, and I was kind of like, ignorance is bliss. I don't want to hear what people have to say about this. Like, I'm just gonna do me. So I've always just told myself, like, keep going, and I was like just trying to be as confident as possible is what I'm trying to get at. And something about me and my social media journey is that I've always been willing and open to trying new platforms. So I did a blog. I think it was like a WordPress account that I had created. I was posting on Instagram, like trying to seem like artsy and cool. And then I went to YouTube, which was another thing. So I think something that's very important and that has been helped me be successful is I've tried out different platforms, and I've found what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. I don't like blogging. I don't like writing that much. I think it's hard to keep up, and I love making videos. Like, as a kid, I used to make home movies, so I really do like making videos. And so that's very important. I think if you're trying to start out, you need to determine what you prefer, what you don't like to do, and then whatever you enjoy most, keep going. And I do think it has to be like a genuine passion. And I know I've heard a lot of influencers say that. They're like, I didn't mean for it to happen, it's just something that I like to do. I don't think that's entirely true. I do think a lot of influencers work at it and they act like it just happened overnight, but usually there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. But with that work comes passion and like enjoyment. Like, I do really love doing this, and I love making videos. I love taking photos. My friends can attest, like we go anywhere and I'm like, oh, don't do that, I need to take a photo. Like, it's just something that comes naturally to me and that I've really enjoyed. So I think if you have that part down, you just gotta take on confidence and like determination. So the number one thing off of that tangent that I think has helped me the most is being confident in myself. And whether I wasn't always feeling that confident, but I was at least acting confident and portraying this confident self. And in turn, that almost has made me a more confident person. Like, acting like I believe myself, and then I started to believe in myself, and then other people believe in you. If you're unsure, if you're half in, half out, I feel like it doesn't work as well. Like, you need to be all in or like nothing. And I know that's hard to do. I feel like for my period that I wasn't successful, which was much of high school and freshman year of college, I was very like shaky. I didn't know whether or not I wanted to do it. I was nervous about people. But once I was like, okay, let's send it, that's when I started seeing results. And I think it took me like at least 5 years to get to that point. So I totally understand people who feel apprehensive or nervous about what other people are gonna think of them, but you literally only live once. So go do you, because you never know what'll happen. You could be the next Emma Chamberlain, or you could be like me, who, it's been like quite a journey. I feel like this is getting so much longer than I meant for it to, but this is just like very important. So, been at it for over 5 years, and then I feel like once during quarantine was like the pivotal turning point for me. I was like, take it seriously. You know what you're doing. You already have received hate. You've already heard the negative opinions of others, and there's plenty of people who support you, so just like go for it. And I think you have to focus on the positive rather than the negative. And recently someone was like, oh, Hannah, what's the meanest hate comment you've gotten? And I know I've gotten like definitely my fair share, but I couldn't even remember to tell them because I've already blocked it out. Like, I make a point, I read it, I definitely get upset. Like, I'm upset for like probably that whole day when I receive a hate comment, but then the next day I forget about it, and I literally couldn't even remember when someone had recently asked me like what the meanest one was, because I just block it out and you move forward. And if you're not getting hate, you're probably doing something wrong, or you're probably not like, I don't know, being like authentic, because not everyone's gonna like you, and that is okay, even though it's hard to come to terms with. It's okay. You probably don't like everyone, but I do think it's important not to spread hate, because you have no idea how it affects people, and sometimes it's very hurtful and it's just uncalled for. And I feel like TikTok and some platforms have like promoted hate, and I just think it's wrong. I don't care if you disagree with someone, just kind of keep your thoughts and opinions to yourself, and carry on with your day, because again, you don't know what someone's like dealing with personally, and then they read hate on the internet, and it's just so uncalled for. So anyways, that's my other tangent on hate. So I'm gonna wrap that tangent up. If you're confident and you're staying true to yourself, it will take you places, and it's just like perseverance, so keep going. The next step is, once you're confident, get on as many social media platforms as possible, because if you spread yourself all over, the more traction you're gonna get and more audiences you're gonna reach. So definitely get on different social media platforms, find what's the best for you. It's definitely hard to keep up, I can attest. There's a lot to manage, there's a lot of apps out there, but kind of find what you like the most, what you want to dabble in, what you do like in your free time. And I would just like definitely spread yourself, because there are different brands on certain platforms, different audiences you want to reach, and spreading yourself out will just like allow you to reach the most people and help you grow, which is what most people ask me, how do you grow? And I think that is my like number one tip, is going on different platforms, following trends, using hashtags, things like that, and I've listened to a ton of podcasts, read a ton of articles to kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work. And what they all say is to post consistently and post on different platforms, and on the different platforms promote your other platforms, if that makes sense. Your accounts should also be on public. I was on private most of high school and part of college, and that's because I felt like there were a lot of people who didn't want to, like when I was on public, I felt like there were a lot of girls who wouldn't want to give me a follow, like didn't want to support me, but then I would like catch them stalking me or viewing my stories, and that would kind of like, I would get upset by that. I was like, oh, it's clear they don't want to support me, but they're still like curious of what I'm doing, and that bothered me at first. So I really didn't want to go on public, but you have to. It's the only way brands can find you. They're not going to follow you to see you on private, so you have to go on public, and you should create a business or creator profile so you can see the analytics and watch what does well, what doesn't, and it also allows you to have a message box and an email box on your Instagram so brands can reach you that way. And that is how all the brands I've worked with have contacted me, whether that's through email or DM. And the only way they can do that is through a business profile. So if you're looking to work with brands, make sure you're on public and make sure you have the business profile set up so they know the best place to contact you, because I can assure you they're not going to be like commenting like, love to work with you. They definitely are going to want to reach you in a more professional setting, whether that's a private message between you and the brand or over email. All brands have contacted me. I have worked with one brand that I personally contacted, but I'm really fortunate. I've had a lot of luck with brands reaching out to me, and I think that's because they see the kind of content that I've created for other brands, and then they want me to emulate that with their own products. So when you do finally work with a brand, it's very important that you create really good quality content so that when a brand reaches out to you, or if you would like to reach out to a brand, you have example content to share with them. So that's very important. And if you're having trouble finding a brand to work with, I recommend reaching out to brands, looking for their business email, contact information, and kind of pitching yourself. But don't send just an email being like, hi, I'd love to work with you. They probably receive thousands of those. So in that email, you should be attaching content, kind of describing yourself, information about you and your profile, and hopefully you hear back. But for me, I have been really fortunate where brands have found me, and I think that's because mainly I'm on public, on Instagram, and I'm on a bunch of different platforms that they can find me. Then I don't think I touched on this, but it's really important that you post consistently. I can say that I do Instagram story every day. I don't post every day. I would like to post every day, but there's still a part of me that gets like nervous about that because I don't want to spam people. And I get upset if people, I don't know, unfollow me. I know it's weird, but I do still get self-conscious. But something about the whole unfollowing thing too is like, there are plenty of people that aren't gonna wanna see your post and you can't get offended. And with that one unfollow, 10 people are probably gonna follow you who really enjoy what you're doing. So you kind of just have to get over that little phase of like unfollowing as you're creating your brand and doing you, because people are eventually gonna come who like you. And you don't want those people around who don't like your content anyway. You don't need people that are judging you and like disapproving of what you're doing. So if they do unfollow you, it's totally okay. Don't take it personally. Usually it's not personal, and just like carry on, because more people who enjoy you and who are positive will come find you. I can promise you that. So let me do a little recap. My number one thing is being confident and staying true to yourself. So I've seen people start YouTube channels and they definitely realize it's harder than what they were anticipating and they stop, and that's totally okay. Or they get nervous about what people are doing, so they stop posting. But I think like you have to make a conscious decision, like, okay, I really want to do this, and you have to be disciplined, because I think a lot of people don't give influencers enough credit and don't think it takes a lot of work. It does. It takes discipline. Taking photos and making and editing videos takes a lot longer than people would think. So I do believe if you want to pursue it full time, you have to make time for it and make a conscious effort to give it your all and treat it as a job, because I do treat this as a job as much as I love it. It's something that I would like to do full time and that I do take very seriously and put a lot of effort into. So if you're looking to pursue it, definitely be confident, own it, and like be all in. And if you're scared of what other people have to say about you, if you're there like being a little, like, I don't know, a statue all your life doing nothing, there are gonna be people who walk past you as a statue and be like, oh, that's an ugly statue. Like, people are gonna have something to say. I don't know if that made any sense. People are gonna have something to say regardless of what you're doing. So you might as well like do something fun, and I think it's very fun. I think it's very rewarding. I love the fact that I can reach a bunch of different people and, you know, get DMs every day of like nice things, or being able to help people with my own experiences or fashion advice or things like that. So I don't know if that little rant made sense, but basically people are gonna judge you regardless of what you're doing. So be confident in yourself. You're probably amazing. You're probably doing a good job. And if people don't like you, F them. You didn't need them in your life anyway. And if you were just a statue for the rest of your life doing absolutely nothing, someone's gonna have something to say about that too. So you're never gonna win in this world, so you might as well do what makes you happy. Then my tip number 2, get on as many social media as possible. You should always be open to trying new things, trying new apps. Like, I was open to trying YouTube. A lot of people say my YouTube videos are their favorite, which I think is crazy, but yeah, get on as many social medias as possible and make sure you're on public, and make sure brands have a way of contacting you. And usually there's a tool on every social media that allows you to link messages, link email, and they can easily contact you, which is awesome. And definitely make sure you're posting as often as possible. Consistency is definitely key. When I think to a lot of bloggers and influencers that I like to follow, most of them post like so many stories in a day, and I know I personally love watching them. So if you're also having trouble getting ideas of like what to post, go to your favorite influencers and people you like to watch, and don't like totally copy them, but definitely kind of pick up on what they're doing. Like, oh, they post when they wake up, they posted this throughout the day, they post this before they go to bed, like I should do something similar to this. I definitely think it's important not to copy people. I do think unfortunately a lot of people on the internet are doing very similar things these days, and that's fine, but you should definitely have your own vibe, create your own energy, and kind of I know I said vibe, but I'm trying to think of another word, like aesthetic on social media. Try to like do you and put your personality into your social media, because I definitely think you can tell when people are being authentic and when people are being like fake-ish on the internet. So I think it's important that you're just true to you, authentic, and confident. And social media is also very overwhelming, because there's always people who are gonna have more followers than you, less followers than you, getting more brand deals than you, whatever. But I think you have to stay positive and don't compare yourself to other people. Because again, I feel like I've been at this for a while and I'm always like, ugh, why isn't this happening? Why did this person just start yesterday and they already have this number? It's very easy to get caught up in all of it, but I think you have to be patient and just like trust in the timing. And I have a whole spreadsheet of brands I've worked with, a spreadsheet of brands I'd like to work with, spreadsheet on information about myself, my personal brand. So stay organized, set some goals for yourself, and things do start to work out for you once you start to visualize what you want to do. I know manifesting, people probably think I'm crazy, but I really think it works. Manifesting your goals, following your dreams, and just focusing on yourself. So don't get caught up in watching other people, what they're doing. Don't compare yourself to other people, even though it's hard, because you're on your own journey. You never know what'll happen, and the only way to be successful is to focus on yourself, be kind to those around you, and I promise like good things will come to you. So to wrap things up, I am very grateful for all of you, because I've been able to work with crazy incredible brands this year. A lot I never even thought like would happen when they did, and I feel like things come when you don't expect it. Like, I remember I watched a PR video and I saw this package this girl got, and I was like, oh my god, I want that. a week later, I got a DM from that company being like, hi, like we'd love to send you X, without me doing anything. Like I just put it out there and it came to me. So I just feel like good vibes attract good vibes, and just let it happen. But the only way that this happens is if you're confident and you like put yourself out there. So don't blend in with the crowd. Be a green apple in a world of red apples. I don't know, but I am wearing this set for Free People that they just sent me. That is a really fun box I got recently. I got like a bunch of rings and jewelry from Bon Bon Whims Club, I believe is what it is. Let me know if you guys want me to do a PR haul coming up. Thank you all for watching. I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't, shoot me a DM. I can go into topics more detail. That is the advice I would give you guys. And I know I've said a lot of things are important, but I think the most important is don't listen to those people who are like, oh yeah, it just happened for me, like it just worked out. Usually they're lying and they don't want to share their tips and tricks. I feel like that's why I've struggled so long, because I could never find someone being honest, and these are my honest answers. Have a way for brands to contact you. Be confident in yourself, post consistently, be on public, and get on as many platforms as possible. So that's my little rant. Happy day, whatever this is watching. Happy day. That doesn't make any sense. Happy whatever day it is you're watching this. I hope you guys have an amazing 4th of July weekend. Subscribe for more videos, and comment down below if you want to see any videos in the future, and DM me if you ever need anything. I've been trying to get back. I got back to a lot of DMs last night, but I still have some I have to get to. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for watching.